Hello everyone, I'm Lynn from Mockingbird in Maine, and I have my February Graphics Fairy Design Team junk journal to show you. And this is a French themed traveler's notebook style journal. It's got a flexible cover. It's 2 layers of fabric with cardstock in between. And then for the closure, I created, similar to a snippet roll, a snippet closure. And so vintage buttons and bits of doily and fabrics all sewn together. And then here is the back. And the sari silk part of it, I did leave long enough that it wraps around the journal twice and then around this button, and I'll show you that at the end. But for whoever gets the journal, if they add to it and it becomes even chunkier, you'll have an extra sari silk to be able to close it. And so I was initially inspired by this piece of fabric that I had in my stash. And so I knew I wanted to incorporate blues and birds. And once I created the cover, I realized it really did look French. So I went with a French theme. And so there's a lot of French ephemera inside. The cover, I did create the base of it from a painter's drop cloth that I got at one of the home improvement stores, and I washed it, and it comes out so nicely. It's soft and it's a nice neutral color that you can do a lot with on a journal cover. So going inside, right inside the front pocket, and here you can get a better look at the fabric, hopefully. Here's a little glass button on a pin, and this is a doily pocket. And inside we had 2 tags, and these are, I'll show you, these are tags from the blue and white chinoiserie, and yes, I had to look up how to pronounce it, bundle. And I have used a lot of the tags. They're just so beautiful. I did reduce them in size for the Traveler's Notebook size journal. But I also used a lot of the papers that are from this bundle, these pattern papers, because I thought they went so well with the cover. So you'll see a lot of those from that bundle. And this is one of the postcards from the vintage postcard bundle. Added a little fabric ruffle. And then this is my new favorite thing. It's a tearable, easy tear, I believe it's called, packing tape that I found and I love. It's so easy to use, and it adds a nice little distressed look. I used tons of French receipts, and so this is one that I made into a full-size page, and on the back of most of those pages you will find one of the pattern papers from the blue and white chinoiserie bundle. I just think that looks so pretty, and this is a nice background to add journaling to or photos. Here is some parchment paper, a little pocket there from a doily and one of the blue and white images, and another one of the tags. And they all have a little tie on them that coordinate lace and sari silk and seam binding. Here is a Paris label on the page and a sari silk ruffle there. And then, and then on this side is a tuck spot. This is a vintage French liquor label. I just put a clip for the tuck spot because it is big, so I didn't want anything to fall out. This is another of the French receipts, and this I printed onto, I wanted to show you. I got 3 of these doodle pads at my thrift store, 3 for 99 cents. But I'm sure you can find these, you know, where the kids' craft supplies are in stores. But it's that thin drawing paper that has sort of a gray tint to it. And it is so, I print on it directly in my printer, and I don't have to tape it to a thicker piece of paper to put it through. I do just put the one piece in the printer tray, the paper tray, and print onto it directly from there. I feel like it gives it an authentic look for an old receipt that may have been originally on some kind of a thin paper. And here's another of the pattern papers and another of the liquor labels. Here's another of the French receipts. A couple more tags. This one's the seam binding and the sari silk. Got tea-dyed pages, a little bit of fabric, and here's a torn receipt. And then these are incorporating the birds and the blues from the pink, blue, and red florals. Just so pretty. They just print so clear and crisp. Oh, I did use, for these pages that I printed on both sides, I did use a premium weight, I think it's 32-pound copy paper, printer paper. So it's just a little heavier than your regular printer paper. And so I have an inkjet. I would print one side, let it sit for a little bit and dry, and then put it back in and print the other side. This is one of the blue and white ephemera pieces, some more of that easy tear tape. And this was just an offcut of some vintage ledger that was sitting on my table while I was working, so I made a little card. This is some of the fabric from the cover. I made a ruffle with that. And another French receipt. Everything is just a little bit distressed on the edges, and there's some crinkles and folds. Here is one of the blue and white images again. And a couple more tags. Oops. And we've got a flip out there. I love flip outs because you could journal here and then tuck it away. And some nice journaling space there with one of the receipt images. A couple of pieces of fabric on that page. And here is a tuck spot. This is from the Peacock Hues bundle. Vintage stamp there, a little bit of fabric. And this is another one of the vintage postcards, as is this. And a little bit of sari, a French receipt, and some grungy tape. So nice little journaling card there. Got some music paper. And all of the bundles that I used, because I did use so many French bundles, all of the bundles that I used are on the blog post. Here's a nice blue receipt, a little bit of fabric, and a vintage button on a pin there. A little bit of fabric, and another one of the bird papers, bird and butterfly. And I love this one. Oh, this, and here's another flip out, but this receipt I think is my favorite. The B, this logo is just gorgeous, and there's so much journaling space on this receipt. And a little image from the blue and white bundle. Here's some blue flowers and a little bit of fabric there. And in this tuck spot, again, a clip to hold things in, but a sari silk that matches the closure, the silver sari silk ruffle. Here's a little vintage bird card. And another of the French receipts. This is one of my favorites, printed onto that thin paper. And another receipt and some grungy tape. And here's another pocket with one of the chinoiserie images. Another tag. And I did print out another of the Paris labels, did a little distressing and just tucked that in. Another one of the postcards with a little bit of embellishment. Tea-dyed paper doily. And for just a little bit of pop of different color other than the blue and the white, a green French receipt here, little flip up, some fabric. Here's another little flip out and a receipt, and again the grungy tape, and another of the French liquor labels, and another sari silk ruffle there. And on this side from the blue and white bundle, I took two of these that I printed out, and I did some distressing and tearing and put them here as a little border on the page just to hide the stitching on the back. I love this pocket too, the blue and the receipt. And here's a tag. This is made from some ribbon that was wire edged ribbon. I pulled the wires out and made a little tag. Another little vintage button, and then a little Paris ephemera piece. Some more blue flowers and a fabric ruffle. And another little flip out there. And then in this back pocket, got an extra little label And another tag. And then this is a French invitation. Another little journaling card there with some floral trim. And then in this little glassine envelope are some antique die cuts. Just look at the back of that. Well, they're a little bit fragile, but they are clock faces. Aren't those beautiful? So tuck those safely into the glassine, but they can be used to embellish in the journal or in another paper project. And so that is it, everyone. Thank you for watching. I hope everyone is doing well. Let me just show you quickly how I wrap this up. And so I wrap it, I keep the sari silk kind of close to the snippet closure, and then just wrap it around. And there it is. Thanks again, everyone, and leave any questions and comments down below. Take care. Happy creating. Bye.